shortage in access to potable water in Ibarakba East local government area of Oyo State, Guinness Nigeria PLC, in partnership with Water Aid Nigeria, has commissioned multi-million naira community water facilities in Irua, New Irua, and Lalate.
Recognizing our chair in this LGA and your leadership team and all leaders present, I thank the team from Water Aid and our partners in this project, members of staff at Guinness Nigeria who are present here today. We are really delighted that we have this opportunity to come back as a company and give back to this community. We are going to launch 3 projects here represented by these 3 communities, which will serve 11,000 people. In Guinness Nigeria, we are passionate about our communities and positive impact.
We've managed to complete yet again one of the signature programs that we have in our corporate social responsibility agenda in Nigeria. We've done this in other parts of the country. We've done it in Edo State, we've done it in Bauchi, we've done it in the southeast as well, and we're pleased to be doing it in Oyo State today.
Water Aid is an international NGO, and we've been part of this collaboration with Guinness Nigeria. The project is aimed at increasing access to improved water supply in 3 communities around the Ibarapa area.
I really appreciate all our efforts to ensure that we give life to people by providing water, because water is the source of life.
Let me quickly go to appreciate what the Guinness Nigeria PLC have done for our community. As we all know, water is one of the essential usage in human's life. As you can see it in this place, there is no any pump, whether hand pump or electric one, in this place at all, which means people will appreciate what we have done for them, and it will be useful for people that need this. Thank you very much.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the Board of Management of Lagos University Teaching Hospital and staff on the occasion of commission of the newly renovated Guinness Eye Center, today, 14 December 2023.
Guinness Nigeria PLC is a great company. They have done so much, not even only in the medical field, in other fields too. And they have uplifted so many people in other fields too.
There's a popular saying, the face is a picture of the mind, with the eyes interpreting everything else. So on that note, the importance of eye health cannot be overemphasized, and this is one of the major reasons why Guinness Nigeria PLC has tirelessly pursued this vision of supporting access to excellent and affordable healthcare to Nigerians.
Guinness Nigerian PLC had really been committed to the cause of Guinness Eye Center. And I must say that of all the centers that we have in Nigeria, Guinness Eye Center Lagos is like the favored child of Guinness Nigerian PLC.
This year, 2023, the management of Guinness Nigeria PLC, in furtherance of their commitment to maintaining standard of practice at the center, embarked on comprehensive renovation of the center. The renovation include, but not limited to, civil, plumbing, roofing and electrical works, furniture and aluminium works, comprehensive renovation of the toilets, and construction of water tank, as well as painting of the entire complex, both internal and external.
Welcome to the real commissioning of the Guinness Eye Center that was meant to be 30 years ago. It is better late than never.
As we celebrate this achievement, let us also reflect on the lives touched, the futures brightened, and the impact made by the Guinness Ice Center over the past 3 decades. Our commitment to making a difference extends beyond the walls of this institution, and we remain steadfast in our pursuit of creating a healthier and more vibrant community.
What I'm thanking Guinness for is for them, because they make life easy for less privileged like me. Because I'm thinking if I should go to outside clinic, I know how much I will cover. Maybe my family cannot afford it. But I'm here today. Since 1994, I've been with them. The black will continue to shine forever. This company will still exist forever.
As the 2023 Ember Month flag off, proudly sponsored by Guinness Nigeria PLC and Federal Road Safety Corps Lagos State Sector Command. Please, I want every one of us to put our hands together for ourselves.
Introduce our highly esteemed partner, and that's in person of the Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of the Guinness Nigeria PLC, the number 1 of Lagos FRSC, and that's the Sector Commander, FRSC Lagos Sector Command, Co-Commander Babatunde Familoye. Put your hands together for him.
While you're behind the wheels or the steering, full alertness, full attention is needed. But when you are under the influence of alcohol, that attention is impaired.
Some drivers now, they go drink. 30 minutes of top steering, they know they see road again. Their eye don't they close. They go they overspeed. They go get accident. They go just die. My people, now only one life where we get to make we know they overspeed.
Thank you, Guinness. Thank you, FRSC. And I pledge to drink responsibly.
I pledge to be responsible.
I pledge to drink responsibly and not drink while I'm driving.
I am Apuape Olushola. I am an official of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, in which I pledge my support to this program that I and my colleagues, including the drivers, are going to abide by the rules that says when you are driving, you shouldn't drink alcohol.
Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Guinness náà. Láwọn náà, a rí gbogbo gudugudu tó ń ṣe, yàrá mẹ́fà tó ń ṣe. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ union gba àwọn ọmọ driver náà. Àwọn náà máa ń láì láti máa mu Guinness láì tàbá ti dé. Pé tàbá ti ṣe látà tàbá ti dé, a máa ń láì láti mu Guinness. So ọkàn wa máa ń balẹ̀, ara wa máa ń ṣe kùlẹ̀. So kò kì í sí wàhálà fún wa. So anybody wa náà, a máa tẹ̀ láti máa mu Guinness. Má máa mu Karasha o. That's it.
Guinness is a truly iconic business that has been in Nigeria for nearly 75 years. Today we're now transitioning into a new era with the partnership between Diageo and Tolerance.
My name is Adeboye Ali, the outgoing MD/CEO of Guinness Nigeria. It's been 20 years of amazing relationships, working with Guinness Nigeria.
Thank you for everything that you've done.
And it's time to hand over the baton to Girish from Tolerance.
My name is Girish Sharma and I'm stepping in as the new Managing Director of Guinness Nigeria. I represent the Tolaram side. When we decided to buy a stake in Guinness Nigeria, what we saw was the legacy and the strength of the brand that Guinness has and the good work and the people. And that's really the biggest part of our investment. I think what we can expect over the months and years is steady growth, most importantly for the shareholders. And we see a lot of exciting new products that we can bring in. So we intend to work with Diageo to curate a lot of exciting new products for the Nigerian market. So that's how I see it here.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the Board of Management of Lagos University Teaching Hospital and staff on the occasion of commission of the newly renovated Guinness Eye Center today, 14 December 2023.
Guinness Nigeria PLC is a great company. They have done so much, not even only in the medical field, in other fields too. And they have uplifted so many people in other fields too.
There's a popular saying, the face is a picture of the mind, with the eyes interpreting everything else. So on that note, the importance of eye health cannot be overemphasized, and this is one of the major reasons why Guinness Nigeria PLC has tirelessly pursued this vision of supporting access to excellent and affordable healthcare to Nigerians.
Guinness Nigerian PLC had really been committed to the cause of Guinness Eye Center. And I must say that of all the centers that we have in Nigeria, Guinness Eye Center Lagos is like the favored child of Guinness Nigerian PLC.
This year, 2023, the management of Guinness Nigeria PLC, in furtherance of their commitment to maintaining standard of practice at the center, embarked on comprehensive renovation of the center. The renovation include, but not limited to, civil, plumbing, roofing and electrical works, furniture and aluminium works, comprehensive renovation of the toilets, and construction of water tank, as well as painting of the entire complex, both internal and external.
Welcome to the real commissioning of the Guinness Eye Center that was meant to be 30 years ago. It is better late than never.
As we celebrate this achievement, let us also reflect on the lives touched, the futures brightened, and the impact made by the Guinness Eye Center over the past 3 decades. Our commitment to making a difference extends beyond the walls of this institution, and we remain steadfast in our pursuit of creating a healthier and more vibrant community.
What I'm thanking Guinness for is for them, because they make life easy for less privileged like me. Because I'm thinking if I should go to outside clinic, I know how much I will cover. Maybe my family cannot afford it. But I'm here today. Since 1994, I've been with them. The black will continue to shine forever. This company will still exist forever.
And access to potable water in Ibarakba East local government area of Oyo State, Guinness Nigeria PLC, in partnership with Water Aid Nigeria, has commissioned multi-million naira community water facilities in Erua, New Erua, and Lalate.
Recognizing our chair in this LGA and your leadership team and all leaders present. I thank the team from Water Aid and our partners in this project, members of staff at Guinness Nigeria who are present here today. We are really delighted that we have this opportunity to come back as a company and give back to this community. We are going to launch 3 projects here represented by these 3 communities, which will serve 11,000 people. In Guinness Nigeria, we are passionate about our communities and positive impact.
We've managed to complete yet again one of the signature programs that we have in our corporate social responsibility agenda in Nigeria. We've done this in other parts of the country. We've done it in Edo State, we've done it in Bauchi, we've done it in the southeast as well, and we're pleased to be doing it in Oyo State today.
Water Aid is an international NGO, and we've been part of this collaboration with Guinness Nigeria. The project is aimed at increasing access to improved water supply in 3 communities around the Ibarapa area.
I really appreciate all our efforts to ensure that we give life to people by providing water, because water is the source of life.
Let me quickly go to appreciate what the Guinness Nigeria PLC have done for our community. As we all know, water is one of the essential usage in human's life. As you can see it in this place, there is no any bowl, whether hand pump or electric one, in this place at all, which means people will appreciate what we have done for them, and it will be useful for people that need this. Thank you very much.
as the 2023 Ember Month flag off, proudly sponsored by Guinness Nigeria PLC and Federal Road Safety Corps Lagos State Sector Command. Please, I want every one of us to put our hands together for ourselves.
Permit me to introduce our highly esteemed partner, and that's in person of the Managing Director and the Chief Executive Officer of the Guinness Nigeria PLC, and number one of Lagos FRSC, and that's the Sector Commander, FRSC Lagos Sector Command, Commander Babatunde Fari Loye. Put your hands together for him.
While you're behind the wheels or the steering, full alertness, full attention is needed. But when you are under the influence of alcohol, that attention is impaired.
Some drivers now, they go drink 30 minutes on top steering, they know they see road again, their eye don't they close. They go they overspeed, they go get accidents, they go just die. My people, now only one life where we get to, make we know they overspeed.
Thank you, Guinness. Thank you, FRSC. And I pledge to drink responsibly.
I pledge to be responsible.
I pledge to drink responsibly and not drink while I'm driving.
I am Apuape Olushola. I am an official of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, in which I pledge my support to this program that I and my colleagues, including the drivers, are going to abide by the rules that says when you are driving, you shouldn't drink alcohol.
Adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba Guinness náà. Láwọn náà, a rí gbogbo gudugudu tó ń ṣe, yàrá mẹ́fà tó ń ṣe. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ union gba àwọn ọmọ driver náà. Àwọn náà máa ń láì láti máa mu Guinness láì tàbá ti dé. Pé tàbá ti ṣe látà tàbá ti dé, a máa ń láì láti mu Guinness. So ọkọ̀ wa máa ń balẹ̀, ara wa máa ń ṣe kùlẹ̀. So kò kì í sí wàhálà fún wa. So anybody wa náà, a máa ṣe láti máa mu Guinness. Má máa mu parasha o. That's it.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of the Board of Management of Lagos University Teaching Hospital and staff on the occasion of commission of the newly renovated Guinness Eye Center, today, 14 December 2023.
Guinness Nigeria PLC is a great company. They have done so much, not even only in the medical field, in other fields too. And they have uplifted so many people in other fields too.
There's a popular saying, the face is a picture of the mind, with the eyes interpreting everything else. So on that note, the importance of eye health cannot be overemphasized, and this is one of the major reasons why Guinness Nigeria PLC has tirelessly pursued this vision of supporting access to excellent and affordable healthcare to Nigerians.
Guinness Nigerian PLC had really been committed to the cause of Guinness Eye Center. And I must say that of all the centers that we have in Nigeria, Guinness Eye Center Lagos is like the favored child of Guinness Nigerian PLC.
This year, 2023, the management of Guinness Nigeria PLC, in furtherance of their commitment to maintaining standard of practice at the center, embarked on comprehensive renovation of the center. The renovation include, but not limited to, civil, plumbing, roofing and electrical works, furniture and aluminum works, comprehensive renovation of the toilets, and construction of water tank, as well as painting of the entire complex, both internal and external.
Welcome to the real commissioning of the Guinness Eye Center that was meant to be 30 years ago. It is better late than never.
As we celebrate this achievement, let us also reflect on the lives touched, the futures brightened, and the impact made by the Guinness Eye Center over the past 3 decades. Our commitment to making a difference extends beyond the walls of this institution, and we remain steadfast in our pursuit of creating a healthier and more vibrant community.
What I'm thanking Guinness for is for them, because they make life easy for less privileged like me. Because I'm thinking if I should go to outside clinic, I know how much I will cover. Maybe my family cannot afford it. But I'm here today. Since 1994, I've been with them. The black will continue to shine forever. This company will still exist forever and ever.
And access to potable water in Ibarakba East Local Government Area of Oyo State, Guinness Nigeria PLC, in partnership with Water Aid Nigeria, has commissioned multi-million naira community water facilities in Erua, New Erua, and Lalate.
Recognizing our chair in this LGA and your leadership team and all leaders present, I thank the team from Water Aid and our partners in this project, members of staff at Guinness Nigeria who are present here today. We are really delighted that we have this opportunity to come back as a company and give back to this community. We are going to launch 3 projects here represented by these 3 communities, which will serve 11,000 people. In Guinness Nigeria, we are passionate about our communities and positive impact.
We've managed to complete yet again one of the signature programs that we have in our corporate social responsibility agenda in Nigeria. We've done this in other parts of the country. We've done it in Edo State, we've done it in Bauchi, we've done it in the southeast as well, and we're pleased to be doing it in Oyo State today.
Water Aid is an international NGO, and we've been part of this collaboration with Guinness Nigeria. The project is aimed at increasing access to improved water supply in 3 communities around the Ibarapa area.
I really appreciate all our efforts to ensure that we give life to people by providing water, because water is the source of life.
Let me quickly go to appreciate what the Guinness Nigeria PLC have done for our community. As we all know, water is one of the essential usage in human's life. As you can see it in this place, there is no any pump, whether hand pump or electric one, in this place at all, which means people will appreciate what you have done for them, and it will be useful for people that need this. Thank you very much.
Guinness is a truly iconic business that has been in Nigeria for nearly 75 years. Today we're now transitioning into a new era with the partnership between Diageo and Toleram.
My name is Adeboye Ali, the outgoing MD of Guinness Nigeria. It's been 20 years of amazing relationships, working with Guinness Nigeria.
Thank you for everything that you've done.
And it's time to hand over the baton to Kirish from Toleram.
My name is Giri Sharma and I'm stepping in as the new Managing Director of Guinness Nigeria. I represent the Toleram side. When we decided to buy a stake in Guinness Nigeria, what we saw was the legacy and the strength of the brand that Guinness has, and the good work and the people. And that's really the biggest part of our investment. I think what we can expect over the months and years is steady growth. most importantly for the shareholders. And we see a lot of exciting new products that we can bring in. So we intend to work with Diageo to curate a lot of exciting new products for the Nigerian market. So that's how I see it here.
Waiting for law school. He's in the law school. So they're starting the law office extension.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. You're welcome to the Civic Center. My name is Gift Ejikeme Igbelu, security guard here. So here at the Civic Center, your safety is our priority. You're currently in the banquet hall, second floor. We have 5 exit points in this hall. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So when you hear the sound of the emergency alarm system, or I personally walking here to ask you to vacate the hall, please do not panic, don't run, don't push anyone, don't push around the chairs. Just walk fast through any of the 5 exit points. Now when you go through any of the 5 exit points, you find the elevator and the staircase. Please avoid, do not use the elevator, that's the lift. Use the stairs, please. But peradventure, you find yourself in the lift trapped, there's a yellow button. Press on it and help will come immediately. Now when you get to the ground floor, please turn left. Either way, either through here or through here, turn left. Left will take you to our muster point, that fire assembly point. Please wait there. Do not return to the building until it is safe enough for you to return. Please, during the process of evacuation, my colleagues will be on hand to coordinate the process. Please adhere to every instructions given at that moment. Now, the convenience are on the first floor and the ground floor. So when you leave this hall, turn right. Then right will take you, it sent to the first floor, then left. Ground floor, straight. Please, but when you're going, I will advise you use the stairs. The stairs will help you shake off the cold and get you rejuvenated. Now, please, when you see any unsafe act or behavior, please, my colleague, the security guard, will be out there by the lift lobby there. Call him, please, alert him immediately. And your devices, your gadgets should be on you at all times. Every other safety personal effect should be on you at all times. Thank you and enjoy your day.
Can we all rise for the national anthem, please? Good morning, distinguished shareholders. Distinguished shareholders, esteemed members of the Statutory Audit Committee, representatives of the regulatory authorities here present, the Securities and Exchange Commission, Nigerian Exchange Limited, Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, and the Corporate Affairs Commission, our professional partners, Veritas registrars, and PricewaterhouseCoopers, respected media practitioners, ladies and gentlemen, and those joining us online. The time is now a little bit past 11 in Lagos, Nigeria, and on behalf of the board and management, I am delighted to welcome you to the 74th Annual General Meeting of Guinness Nigeria PLC, which I now formally declare open. Before we begin, in accordance with Section 256, subsection 2 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Article 36 of our Company's Articles of Association, I'm pleased to inform you that the Company Secretary has advised me that a quorum has been duly formed and we may proceed with the day's business. There are 8 items of business on the agenda of the meeting before us this morning. Bearing in mind that some of you are attending for the first time, I will explain briefly that you will have an opportunity to second each motion put to the meeting. There will be an opportunity for questions on that particular motion only before the vote is taken. However, I would ask that each questioner restrict himself or herself to one question only, please, to give enough room for more shareholders to ask questions. Roving microphones and amplifying equipment are being used so that everyone present should be able to hear. I would therefore request that those seconding motions before the meeting or asking questions should speak clearly through the microphone, which an usher will pass to them, and commence by stating their names. The modalities for voting on resolutions during the meeting will be explained to shareholders present by the registrars during the proceedings. The registrars will count the votes for each resolution and the results will be displayed on the screen. The Register of Directors' Holdings is available for inspection during the meeting in compliance with Section 301, subsection 8 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. Before moving to the more formal matters on the agenda, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce you to the Board of Directors. I am Dr. Omobola Johnson, the Board Chair of our company. Thank you. On my immediate left is Mr. Girish Sharma, our recently appointed Managing Director, Chief Executive. Next to Mr. Sharma is Mr. Emmanuel Difom, our Finance and Strategy Director. And beside him is Mr. Hakushin Aswani, the Vice Board Chair. On my immediate right is Mrs. Abidemi Ademola, the Company Secretary. Next to her is Mr. Deepak Singhal, Finance Executive and General Manager of the Consumer Business at Toleram. He's a non-executive director. Next to him is Ms. Ngozi Edozian, Finance, Investment and Management Consultant, Independent Non-Executive Director. And next to her is Mr. John Musunga, Managing Director for the Diageo Southwest and Central Africa Business. He's a non-executive director. And on my last but not the least is Ms. Vivian Shubo, a finance, capital markets and risk management strategist, an independent non-executive director, and Professor Fabian Ajogu, a renowned senior advocate of Nigeria and professor of law. He is an independent non-executive director. I would also like to introduce the shareholder representative and chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee, Mr. Moses Igrude. An astute business analyst. Sitting next to him is Mr. George Ibade, an experienced lawyer. Sitting next to Mr. Ibade is Ms. Onome Joy Adewoyi, an experienced chartered accountant. Our auditors, Messrs. PricewaterhouseCoopers, are also represented here by Mr. Edafe Erie, the audit engagement partner, and our registrars, Veritas Registrars Limited, led by Mr. Okonkwo, the Register. We, of course, also recognize and appreciate the presence of our regulators, including the Nigerian Exchange Limited, represented by Mr. Godstime Iwenekai, the Securities and Exchange Commission, represented by Mr. Abu Ibrahim, the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, represented by Mr. Ignatius Ekpo, the Corporate Affairs Commission, represented by Mr. Christopher Ikem, and of course, the esteemed ladies and gentlemen of the media. Subsequent to the publication of Guinness Nigeria PLC notice of the 74th Annual General Meeting dated 25th July 2024, Messrs. Hakishin Aswani, Girish Sharma, Deepak Singhal, and John Musunga were, by virtue of a resolution of the Board of Directors of Guinness Nigeria PLC, appointed to fill vacancies on the board caused by the resignation of Joanne Hodgins, Adebayo Ali, Groin Wifer, and Leo Breen, following completion of transfer of majority shares in Guinness Nigeria PLC on the 30th of September 2024. Pursuant to Section 285, subsection 4 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Article 97.2 of the Articles of Association of the Company, N7 Nigeria Limited, being a member duly qualified to attend and vote at the 74th AGM, gave a notice of its intention to propose Messrs. Hakishin Aswani, Girish Sharma, Deepak Singhal, and John Musunga for election to continue in office as directors of the company at the 74th AGM. Pursuant to the said Section 285, subsection 4 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Article 97.2 of the Articles of Association of the Company, Messrs. Hakishin Aswani, Girish Sharma, Deepak Singhal, and John Musunga have confirmed their interest and willingness to be considered for election as directors at the 74th AGM. Following the above, Guinness Nigeria PLC issued and circulated to members an updated notice of the 74th AGM dated 3rd of October 2024 to incorporate the names of the new directors to be proposed for election at this meeting. I now call on the Company Secretary, Mrs. Abidemi Ademola, to read the updated notice of the Annual General Meeting.
Morning, distinguished shareholders. Updated notice of the 74th Annual General Meeting of the members of Guinness Nigeria PLC. Pursuant to the notice of 74th Annual General Meeting of the members of Guinness Nigeria PLC dated 25th of July 2024, earlier circulated to members, updated notice is hereby given that the 74th Annual General Meeting of the members of Guinness Nigeria PLC will be held at the Grand Banquet Hall, Civic Center, Ozoba Mbadwe Road, Victoria Island, Lagos State, on Wednesday, 23rd October 2024, at 11 o'clock in the forenoon, to transact the following businesses. Agenda, ordinary business. 1, to lay the report of the directors, the financial statement for the year ended 30th June 2024, and the reports of the independent auditors and the statutory audit committee thereon. 2, to elect or re-elect directors. 2, subsection 1, to elect the following directors who were appointed since the last annual general meeting. Mr. Girish Sharma as an executive director of the company. B, Mrs. Vivian Shobo as an independent non-executive director of the company. C, Mr. Hakishin Aswani as a non-executive director of the company. D, Mr. Deepak Singhal as a non-executive director of the company. E, Mr. John Musunga as a non-executive director of the company. Directors A, C, D, and E having been nominated further to a notice dated 2nd October 2024, delivered to the company by N7 Nigeria Limited for election of Mr. Hakishin Aswani, Mr. Girish Sharma, Mr. Deepak Singhal, and Mr. John Musunga as directors of the company. To re-elect the director B, 2 subsection 2, to re-elect the director retiring by rotation, Professor Fabian Ajogun, SAN. 3, to disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company. 4, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the independent auditors. 5, to elect members of the statutory audit committee. Special business by ordinary resolution. 6, to fix the remuneration of the directors. To consider and if thought fit to pass the following as ordinary resolution of the company, that the remuneration of the non-executive directors of Guinness Nigeria PLC for the year ending 30th June 2025 be and is hereby fixed at 150,509,076 naira, only as directors' remuneration. Please note that there is no change from previous year. 7, to consider and if thought fit pass the following resolution as an ordinary resolution of the company, that in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX, governing the transactions with related parties or interested persons, the general mandate granted to the company in respect of all recurrent transactions entered into with a related party or interested person which are of a revenue or trading nature or are necessary for the company's day-to-day operations, including but not limited to the procurement of goods and services, financing and other incidental transactions on normal commercial terms, be and is hereby renewed up to the date of the next annual general meeting. Special business by special resolution. 8, to consider and if thought fit pass the following resolution as a special resolution of the company, that the articles of association of the company be amended by 1, the insertion of a new paragraph 56 to read as follows. Time and place of meeting. The annual general meeting shall be held in such manner at such time and place as the directors shall appoint, including virtually or by any other electronic means. 2, the insertion of a new 59.1 to read as follows. Notice of every general meeting shall be given in any legal matter, including and without limitation to any mail, publication, physical or electronic means. The others are notes. I don't know. I just want to seek. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Ademola. My report on our company's activities and progress as at 30th of June 2024 are contained on pages 8 to 13 of the annual report, containing the board's chair's statement, which has already been circulated to all shareholders. Yes, please, sir, what is the observation? Please speak, sir, we can hear you. We can hear you. Because they were not directors when that annual, I think you're holding up the annual report.
No, they are not. It's not. The lists are not here. Not included here.
Yes, they were not there.
Yes.
The company secretary's report says there was an updated notice of the meeting, and it is in that updated notice. Thank you very much, sir. I'll continue. Thank you. My report on our company's activities and progress as at 30th of June 2024 are contained on pages 8 to 13 of the annual report, containing the board chair's statement, which has already been circulated to all shareholders. I therefore request your kind agreement to take this report as read. Thank you. I will now ask a representative of the auditors to read the auditor's report, while the chair of the Statutory Audit Committee will read the committee's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, distinguished shareholders. My name is Eda Ferre from PricewaterhouseCoopers. Our audit report is on page 72 to 78 of the annual reports. With your permission, I will read the abridged version. That's the first 2 paragraphs and the last. Report on the financial statement. In our opinion, Guinness Nigeria PLC, the company financial statement, give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 30th June 2024,
and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standard as issued by the International Accounting Standard Board, IFRS Accounting Standards, and the requirement of the Companies and Allied Matters Act and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria amended Act 2023. What have we audited? Guinness Nigeria PLC financial statement comprises the statement of financial position as of 30th June 2024, the income statement of the year then ended, the statement of comprehensive income for the year then ended, statement of changes in equity for the year then ended, statement of cash flow for the year then ended, and the notes to the financial statement, which include a summary of material accounting policies. Basis for our opinion: we conducted our audit in accordance with international standard on auditing. Our responsibility under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement section of this report. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. I'll read the last paragraph. That's on page 76. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. The Companies and Allied Matters Act requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report back to you shareholders on the following matters. We therefore confirm that 1, we have obtained all the information and explanation which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2, the company has kept proper books of accounts so far as appear from examination of those books, and return adequate for our audit have been received from location not visited by us. 3, the company's statement of financial position, income statement, and statement of comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account and returns. Signed by my humble self on behalf of PricewaterhouseCoopers, dated 25th July 2024. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. Distinguished Chairman, Board Directors, and my fellow colleagues, shareholders. My name is Comrade Igbude Moses. And the audit committee is on page 67 of the annual report. I read those. Report of the statutory audit committee to the members of Guinness Nigeria PLC for the year ended 30 June 2024. Compliance with section 404 subsection 7 of the Companies and Allied Act. We have reviewed the scope and planning of the audit requirements. B, review the external auditor's memorandum of recommendation on accounting policies and internal control together with management responses. And C, ascertained that the accounting and reporting policy of the company for the year ended 30th June 2024 are in accordance with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. In our opinion, the scope and planning of the audit for the year ended 30th June 2024 were adequate, and the management responses to the statutory auditor's findings were satisfactory. Signed by Mr. Igbude Moses with Financial Reporting Council /2023 IMN 0000000585. Chairman, signed July 24th, July 2024. Member of the statutory audit committees are my humble self, who is the chairman, Mr. M.O. Igbude, Mr. G.O. Ibade. Just stand and take a bow. Then Mrs. Onome Joy Adewi, a shareholder. She is on her way, and she's on traffic coming from this end. And Mrs. Yemisi Ayeni, an independent non-executive director who served with us, but she has left the board. Then Ms. N. Edozian, a non-independent, non-executive director. The company secretary served as the secretary to the committee. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Brude. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now continue with item 1 on the agenda. As copies of the annual report and financial statements for the year ended June 30, 2024 have been with you for the statutory period, I would now like to formally lay before the meeting the audited financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2024, together with the reports of the directors thereon. Would somebody please rise and second the motion? Yes, sir. Yes, to you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My name is Mustafa Jinodu. I rise to second that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Jinodu.
Thank you.
We should be pleased to answer any questions which you may have on the report and audited financial statements before we proceed to the next item on the agenda. To enable us to respond to your questions, it would help if you refer to the page of the report and audited financials to which your question or comment relates. Members should please be brief and limit their questions to one. Please give your full name over the microphone and state your question clearly. I'll start from the lady in orange. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Madam Chairperson, Board of Directors, distinguished shareholders, good morning. My name is Mrs. Bakari Adebisi Oluwayemisi. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to be very brief, and I have only one question for you this morning, like you said. I will start with financial highlights. Madam, looking at these financial highlights, we shareholders, we are not happy with it at all. Despite that, our revenue grew by 32%, and our result from operating activities also grew by 9%. Our loss for the year amounted to 54.7 billion. And not only that, Mr. Chairman, our total equity reduced from 56.4 billion to 2.2 billion. So my question, Madam, is that what strategies can the board adopt to reduce operating costs and enhance profitability? Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me.
Thank you. I'll come to this side. The gentleman in the light brown, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. The name is Evangelist Dr. Anthony Amoni Yamochola. I want to be brief. However, I want to point out certain salient points within the annual reports and accounts. Yes, we did make operational profit, but because of our commitments, we ceded to losses. However, like the first question, first speaker, the question asked, we want to accede to that question so that the directors can look in-house and think of ways of reducing our cost of operations. Specifically, when you look at our inventory, the inventory is on the high side. And I'm on page 115. Why do I say it's on the high side? If you look at raw materials and packaging materials, the previous year was 6.2 billion. The year under review is 17.4 billion. If I look at that, almost 200% leap. That is too much. We do appreciate the current value of the naira, the exchanges, and the rest of them. But we only need to give little concession to that, not that it should override everything. And looking down that same page, if you look at what was recognized as cost of sale for the year, which is 149.019 trillion, as against 106.56 trillion the previous year, we do realize that this one went up by less than 40%. But when you look at the impairment, that follow within the year, this is too much. I'm talking of 731 million as against 4.5 million in the previous year. These are some of the areas which I want the directors and management to look at. And looking at page 108, page 108, analysis of expenses by nation, because these are the costs of the costs that has spread up. Advertising and promotion, 27.6 billion against 20.6 of the previous year. You look at repairs and insurance, 12 against 8.9 the previous year. Specifically, I look at impairment loss on property, plant, and equipment, which have taken 789.2 million against 73.5 of the previous year. And finally, on that same page, well, I do know that we have a lot of consumables, but haven't consumed 11.89 billion utilities as against 7.1 of the previous year. I think this is too much on the high side. And finally, I want us as a company and as management to talk to the new majority investor so that they can do something about our liabilities that has driven us to loss position. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The gentleman in the blue cap, please.
The chairperson of the board of Guinness Nigeria PLC, the directors here present, my fellow shareholder, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrick Ajudo. Chairperson, I want to first start on a deep note of condolence to our former chairman, Mr. Babatunde Salvage, who lost his wife. Our prayer is with him and his family, and to the Guinness family, that may our gentle soul rest in peace. Amen. And I sincerely hope that we'll use this opportunity to have, at least if it's a 1 minute silence in memory of her. So do pass our condolence to our former chairman. He's somebody we admire. He's somebody who have done well and have served Guinness. So we join him in this particular period in life. Also, we want to commend you, the chairperson. You have done extremely well through your tenure. We want to commend the directors who have left, Mrs. Ayeni and others. They have done well, and we pray for a better future for them. We thank the new company secretary, who is able and very strong and reliable. and the outgoing one, Mr. Rotimi, they have done greatly well. On page 6, Mr. Chairperson, we want to welcome the new investor. It's our great joy that you are coming on board, and that means you really saw something good in the company, and you want to invest. Be rest assured of our cooperation, and we thank you for doing that. On page 8, Mr. Chairperson, yes, we have an improvement in the top line by about 31% when you see that page, which was achieved despite the difficult macroeconomic challenges marked by low purchasing power of the consumers, the high inflation, fuel subsidy removal, the devaluation of the naira. Thus, though we notice increase in the cost of sales, but regrettably, the bottom line experienced a decline by about 201% to 54.7 billion, caused by the currency devaluation, resulting into an FX revaluation loss of over 112 billion. Mr. Chairperson, on page 12, we recognize the board changes that you have told us, with Tolerant buying over 58.12% of Diageo at the rate of 81.63 per share, which is a premium of over 63% and was bought at 103 billion. We say we thank you and we pray that your investment will not go in vain. But our question is, what is your vision and mission for Guinness as you take over? Also, you have expressed your intention for a mandatory takeover of the minority shareholders. But we are not against that because it's a standard rule of the exchange. But what we are asking you, and an emphatic question this time, is to find out from you, are their intention to delist from the exchange? Also, Mr. Chairman, if you are going to have a takeoff of the MTO and you are paying a premium to the Diageo at over 53 to 63%, with a closing price of 63.5 naira, and now you are paying them 81 naira 63 kobo. Remember, in this annual report, the company has spent in Nigeria 74 years. So the minority shareholder will not accept anything less than 81 naira you are paying Diageo if we are to take up the MTO. So please bear in mind that it is very important. And I know the chairperson is there to also protect us when the time comes. Also, I will quickly take you to page 34 to 40. That is the sustainability report. I want to commend your sustainability and social responsibility report, your Society 2030 spirit of progress, which is aimed at advancing social governance order, is well appreciated. On page 106, Mr. Chairperson, is the finance cost. It grew from 53.3 billion, when you look at that page, to as much as 120 billion.8. So I will be asking you to emphatically, because whether we like it or not, Mr. Aswani, please note, the situation in Nigeria is a very difficult one for businesses, whether we like it or not. And government itself must rise up to this occasion. Manufacturing sectors are dying. Some of them are in the intensive care unit as we are talking. So you cannot, as government, always collect tax without also offering them the support. When foreign exchange continue to rise, our foreign devaluation will also continue to rise. And that itself will kill business. So government must do everything to stabilize the exchange rate, make it of the great certainty for business. Because for us, we are importing raw material. And that itself will continue to show in our books in terms of the input costs. So what are you doing in this regard as a board? To look at one, local sourcing of the material. Because if we continue to import, we'll continue to have a high forest rate. Number two is to also look at the backward integration program. This in itself is very important because it will assist local production, it will assist our farmers, it will create jobs, and also it will create some sense of security. So on page 129 is where I get worried because whatsoever we are doing, our long-term stability is very important. We continue to borrow, we continue to have a high cost in trade payable. That in itself is a worrying factor. So finally, Mr. Chairman, I would like to take you to the main page, which is page 80, 81, 82, 83. That is where you have the financial. And first on that financial is to look at what led us to this and where we are. When you look at that, to start with our debt ratio. The debt ratio is very, very, very high, closing at 0.9, and also for the previous year at 0.7, an indication that we need to have cover for our liability. On that same page is the computation for return on investment, which I'm sure the external auditor know, that it is a determinant to look at how you are able to utilize your capital employed for your investment. And when you look at that page, Chairperson, there's a signal that we need to work hard. It closes as a minus of 2.138% as against a minus of 38%. So we have to work very hard. And to join this is the situation of our negative share capital. Our negative reserve is worrisome. If you check the page, you will see that our negative reserve is closing up our retained earning negative at 46.3 billion. So what effort are we going to make? As the new investor, you have the challenge to improve your top line, you have the challenge to optimize your costs, and you have the challenge also to ensure that rewards are given. Today you are not paying dividend, and as such we are really not happy. But what are you doing to bring back that smile to the shareholders and pay them this dividend and make them smile again? Thank you. I wish you the best. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Judah. And we will pass on your condolences to Mr. Savage. Thank you for that. I'll take a lady, Barrister Addition.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Good morning, Madam Chairperson, all the board members, the regulatory authorities here present, my fellow distinguished shareholders. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Barrister Detutu Shinyobola. I'm the president of Highly Favored Shareholders Association. Madam Chairperson, I have some observations, comments, questions, and suggestions on our annual report. I promise you I won't repeat what others have said. With your kind permission, I will quickly run through them. Start from on page 17, directors and their interests. I observed that only 2 directors out of 12 listed have our shares attached to their names directly in the year under review. I want to know why. On page 17 and 18, shareholding and substantial shareholders. I observed that we have 4 major shareholders with the minority shareholders in our company in the year under review. I would like to seize this opportunity to request a seat for the minority shareholders in our board. From page 22 to 25, attendance at board meetings and board committee meetings is good, but can be better. we have to improve on our attendance going forward. On page 53, the beautiful faces of Guinness leadership team. Observe that we have only 2 ladies in the management team of 8 members, which amounts to 25%. This is unacceptable on gender balancing. We have to improve on it going forward. On page 80, statements of financial position. Trade and other receivables under current assets went up from almost 12 million naira to 13.2 billion naira, went up from 12 billion naira to 13.2 billion naira in the year under review. What are the modalities in place to collect this debt from our customers to the barest minimum so that it will not end as a bad debt that will be written off? Trade and other payables under current liabilities also went up from 111.2 billion naira to 175.9 billion naira in the year under review. How do we intend to pay this debt to our creditors? Lastly, I observe that we have utilized our annual report judiciously to advertise all our products. This is commendable. Please keep it up. Thanks and God bless you richly for this opportunity, Madam Chairperson. I appreciate.
Thank you, Barrister. We'll take 2 more questions. Yes, the gentleman in the anchor. Yes.
All protocols duly observed. My name is Adeleke Oladimeji. Chairman, we are not in happy mood today because the results we are considering today is not best of its kind. We are not happy with it. Me, having a critical look at this account, sir, we generate a revenue of my name is Adeleke Oladimeji. We generate a revenue of 299 billion against 229 billion last year, which gave us a difference of 70 billion. And looking at the cost of sales of 208 billion against 155 billion, if you combine these two together, we observe that the differences in this is less than 3 billion. So which means I believe the companies still have to go and look at how we can minimize our costs. That one will go a long way. Let's go and look at how we can minimize our costs. Our cost is on the high side. I know the earlier speaker talked about forest something. If you look at statement of financials at page, the materials that we import is minimum compared to our locally sourced material. A lot of materials that we used for our products are locally materials. So the material imported in this annual report is about 20-something billion against 200 and something billion that we have. Also, sir, me, I believe in due diligence. I believe in doing the right thing. This account was prepared July this year. The former MD signed this account July 25 this year. So which means I believe as at that time, he's still an employee of this business, of this company. So here today, even in this annual report, he's seeking for re-election. Now, today, Mr. Ali is not here. You introduce another person to us as the MD. The person which we don't know, his profile is not known to us. Things like this is not proper. We are not supposed to be doing things like this. We deserve a better information and we should be well informed. So going forward, sir, ma'am, please let us try and do the right thing. It's so important. Also, ma'am, also very, very, very important. An MD resigned last year, and you are now bringing him again as non-executive director. It's against corporate governance. Our lawyer should have advised us better. The company secretary should have told us better. At least you should have gone for about 3 years before bringing him back. If I'm corrected, please, if I'm wrong, please correct me. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Everybody is in this hall. if you are conversant with the corporate governance, you should have gone for 3 years before bringing him back.
You're not correct, sir. So please round up your comments. Thank you.
Okay. Also, if you look at this business, the total debt of the company is at 215 billion. This is huge. How do we intend to reduce this cost, to reduce this debt? And also, the business, the revenue, we are making money, but all the money is going through servicing debt and the huge admin expenses that we have. Also now, if you look at page 145, page 145 on this account, our retained earning is in negative. And to add it all, the most painful aspect of it is that under the year review, shareholders' fund reduced from 56 billion to 2 billion. This is too much. What are the modalities we are putting in place to make this company more to go back to profitability? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take there's a gentleman right in the middle, the orange side, with the orange cap. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My name is Erin Folami Kafal, the youngest shareholder. Thank you. So I want to ask just a question. What strategies are we currently deploying or we plan to deploy to turn things around? Thank you.
I'll take one more question. The lady in the Ankara, the second row with her hand up. That's the last question. Thank you.
Thank you, ma. My name is Mrs. C.O. Obide, the National Coordinator of Ark of God Shareholder Association. Ma, when I collect this annual report, what a shareholder always look at in annual report is item 2. The item 2 is not here. If you look at the front page, front seat and other seats, you will see that there are retirees in this hall. This is a fruit of Aleppo, and our product is selling in the market. Ma, the board, they need to work hard for next year. We need dividend. If you see shareholders smiling at you, it's because of the dividend. This dividend is very important. And secondly, ma, what are we doing about our recapitalization? How far are we gone about the recapitalization? Are we giving any mandate or what are we doing? That's my question. Thank you. Mrs. C.O. Bide, National Coordinator of AFCON.
Thank you very much. I think in the interest of time, we have had a lot of very insightful questions from our shareholders. And so I would like to ask Mr. Emmanuel Diffom, the Director of Finance and Strategy, to answer the questions on the performance of the business to date, given that Mr. Girish only joined the business on the 1st of October. And any questions around the future, Mr. Girish will answer. So, Mr. Diffom, you have the floor, please.
Echo. Okay. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Okay, can you see me now? Thank you very much. So, thank you very much for your insightful questions. I think I cannot agree more to what you have all said. I just want to recap every question that was asked here. I think we are all talking about how can we reduce cost, how can we improve our debt to equity ratio, how can we come back to profitability and repair our return earnings. I think that's the summary of the questions that have been asked. It's a good thing that we all live in Nigeria and we all know what is going on. I'm not going to be lecturing to converted because we all know the forex challenges that we have to face. We all know inflation. All of us will face that every time. But at the end of the day, as management team, we still have the responsibility to give you answers as to how we believe in the future of the business and how we think things can get turned around. So first of all, if you look back to last year's performance, I think we did extremely well when it comes to underlying performance of the business. Then we had the hit on financing costs, mostly driven by FX. There is not much we can do about inflation itself. We need to face it. And the way we face inflation is, number one, by making sure we become lean in terms of how we proceed with our operations. We improve our sourcing strategies to make sure we get at the best affordable price everything that we source into the business. And I think what we are also keen in doing is to make sure we are a lean organization. And believe me, we are very keen to do that. If you remember, if we have looked through the numbers, what you see as your landing figure is actually a better version of what could have been portrayed here if we did not max out on our productivity strategy. So we are very keen to improve our efficiencies in the business to make sure we get the cost base where it ought to be. FX is what it is. I think at the end of the day, what we need to start living with is FX has come to stay, and therefore our pricing strategy in terms of how we manage to pass part of this FX and inflation to the consumer in a calculated way, we keep pace with how the market is moving. That's the only thing we can do. And obviously, we also improve our mix, making sure we support more the brands that brings value to the business, and let's focus on those that are not in tune with the circumstances that we are in. So, something we have done with debt. Obviously, if you guys are looking at the Naira value, the impression is that the debt has gone up, but most of this debt is actually FX denominated. This is hard currency denominated, and the hard currency number has actually reduced. Unfortunately, because of the devaluation and the translation from FX to local currency, you can't see it when you're reading the statement. We have been very bullish in terms of driving down this debt, and I can tell you for a fact that this first 3 months into this new financial year, we have actually taken this debt at the lowest level possible. We are not going to stop it because, as somebody commented, we still have a cost base which is FX somehow dependent. And something to call out here is, even when we are not importing your raw materials, whatever you get in this market is pegged to dollar. That's the way the Nigerian market works. You can attest to the fact that even when you buy your mineral water, the price of water keeps on going up, and you can't see any FX element in the water that you're drinking. That's the nature of our market. But our responsibility as management team is to make sure we return profit to the shareholders. So we need to find strategies to get this under control. I think there was a question around trade debt. I think this is also correlated with the inflation, because if the price of your materials is going up, obviously what you have to pay to your suppliers will technically go up as well. But looking at it from a receivable standpoint, what we have to collect from our customers, I can give you confidence that Guinness Nigeria does not have any risk, does not stand any risk of not collecting the debt that you have out there, because most of our sales, if not almost everything, is either backed with cash, bank guarantee, so there is security. Every debt that you see reported in these financial statements are fresh debts which are going to be collected. In fact, today we are in October, these debts have already been collected and new ones have come in. So there's no question about that. Around equity, what can we do to repair equity? I think first thing is to return to profitability. So the more profit we generate as a business, the more return earnings we generate, and therefore the balance sheet gets repaired. This does not discount the fact that we can explore other options of repairing our balance sheet, but I think the low-hanging fruit for us is to get back to profitability, and that is what we are keen to do. And I can tell you that we don't really take this lightly, because we take it hardly to make sure we return value to the shareholders. We work for you, and it pains us to come here and report negative results just on account of macroeconomic factors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diffon. I'll ask Mr. Sharma to just respond to the one or two questions around the future of the business.
All right. Good morning, everyone. You asked a question about what is the future for Guinness Nigeria. I'm 20 days into the role, so I'm still studying the company. But I think one thing I can tell you is, as someone that grew up in Nigeria, this is one of the best companies that we have in this country. I think we have had a few challenges. We've had challenges around the currency. We have started identifying what are the right moves we need to make. There are a few things that are on my list of priorities, and first and foremost is to bring profitability back, which means that every single bottle that we ship out, we should make money. That's priority number one. Priority number two is to make sure how can we be a more efficient producer, which means that every bottle that we produce, how can we produce it cheaper than what we made yesterday? So that's priority number two. And I think priority number three is focus on building. We have a great team, and the idea is to how do we empower them more? How do we make them do more than what they did yesterday? So I think broadly my plan to fix Guinness Nigeria would revolve around these three pillars. And if we do these three pillars correctly, I feel very confident that the financial performance will get in place, because the financial performance is an outcome of these three areas that we will work on. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sharma. I think we can move on now. In the exercise of the powers conferred on me by Section 248, subsection 1A of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, I hereby call a poll on items 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 on the agenda. Accordingly, voting for these resolutions will be taken electronically. Each shareholder has been given a voting device, and the results will be displayed on the screen and on the live streaming of the meeting for shareholders not physically present. I now call on the registrar to present a short demonstration of how the electronic voting system works and give us the instructions for use of the electronic devices. Registrar.
Good morning, Madam Chairperson, esteemed directors of Guinness Nigeria PLC, representatives of regulatory bodies here present, distinguished shareholders of Guinness Nigeria PLC. My name is Mr. Ugo Okonkwo. I am the registrar, and I will guide us through the voting process. Please be informed that prior to this meeting, we had received and captured the voting details of 75 shareholders attending by proxy, who amongst them hold 1,589,228,004 ordinary shares of Guinness Nigeria PLC. At this meeting, we will be collating the total votes of shareholders present and voting, in addition to proxies already received, to arrive at the final voting results. Distinguished shareholders, the voting pads which were earlier given to you at the point of accreditation will now be used for voting on the respective resolutions to be read out by the chairperson. For purposes of voting, shareholders are restricted only to the buttons labeled numbers 1 and 2 on the pad. Button number 1 represents yes or in favor of a resolution, while button number 2 represents no or against a resolution. In order to vote, shareholders are to press the appropriate button which represents their intention. Shareholders will have 25 seconds to cast their votes once voting commences. The result of the voting exercise will be displayed on the digital screen in real time, while the analysis will be generated immediately for members' view. Once you are called upon to vote, kindly proceed to select the button that reflects your voting preference. Also note that you can change your vote during the voting session, but once the voting period has ended, the last selected choice will be recorded as your vote. Please ensure that you return the voting pads to our staff, the men and ladies in black, standing along the aisle or at the exit door once the voting sessions end. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Konko. The next item on the agenda is to elect the following directors who were appointed since the last annual general meeting. Mr. Girish Sharma as an executive director, Mrs. Vivian Shubo as an independent non-executive director, Mr. Harkishin Aswani as a non-executive director, Mr. Deepak Singhal as a non-executive director, and Mr. John Musunga as a non-executive director. Mr. Girish Sharma, Mr. Harkishin Aswani, Mr. Deepak Singhal, and Mr. John Musunga, having been nominated further to a notice dated 2nd October 2024, delivered to the company by N7 Nigeria Limited for election as directors of the company. First is Mr. Girish Sharma. Mr. Sharma's profile is displayed on the screen. Mr. Girish. Thank you. His profile is displayed on the screen. I hereby move the motion for the election of Mr. Girish Sharma as an executive director. Would someone please rise and second the motion? Yes, the gentleman with the, in the green, the gentleman in the green. Please state your name, sir. Wait a minute. Thank you. Thank you, Prince Awosaya. I hereby put the motion to the meeting. I hereby put the motion to the meeting for voting. Registrars.
On the motion for election of the executive for the MD of Guinness, members, please, in line with the earlier procedures stated, please, you may now proceed to cast your votes. Remember, you have 25 seconds within which to do this. Press button number 1 if you are in support of the motion, or button number 2 if you are against it. Madam Chair, at the end of the voting exercise, we have 99.99% of the members present and voting in favor of the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Konko. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. The next director appointed after the last annual general meeting and seeking confirmation is Mrs. Vivian Shubo. Mrs. Shubo's profile is set out on page 51 of the annual report and accounts. I hereby move the motion for the election of Vivian Shubo as an independent non-executive director. Would someone please rise and second the motion? The lady in the black and white, please. Thank you very much, ma'am. I hereby put the motion to the meeting for voting.
On the motion for the election of Vivian Shobo as an independent non-executive director, members can cast their votes.
Yeah, see, one person knows all this, press the wrong one. Yesterday, from there. What you see is that they mostly, yes.
Madam Chair, at the end of the voting exercise, we have 100% of the members present and voting in favor of the resolution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kunko. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. The next director appointed after the last annual general meeting and seeking confirmation is Mr. Hakishin Aswani. Mr. Aswani's profile is displayed on the screen. I hereby move the motion for the election of Mr. Hakishin Aswani as a non-executive director. There was a gentleman at the back who wanted to be yes, the gentleman in black, yes. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My name is Lawal Oluwakim. I do second the motion.
Thank you, sir. I hereby put the motion to the meeting for voting.
On the motion for the election of Hakishin Aswani as a non-executive director of Guinness Nigeria PLC, I hereby call on the members to cast their votes. Madam Chair, at the end of the voting exercise, we have 100% of the members voting in favor of the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Konko. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. The next director appointed after the last annual general meeting and seeking confirmation is Mr. John Musunga. Mr. John Musunga's profile is displayed on the screen. I hereby move the motion for the election of John Musunga as non-executive director. Yes, please, sir. Gentleman in the black, second row. Yes, please.
Thank you, my chairperson. The name is Engineer Victor Enyinaya. I second that motion.
Thank you, Engineer Victor. I hereby put the motion to the meeting for voting.
On the motion for the election of John Musunga, members may now cast their votes. Madam Chairperson, at the end of the voting exercise, we have 100% votes in favor of the resolution.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. Thank you very much, distinguished shareholders. I now move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the re-election of directors retiring by rotation. I would like to mention that the register of directors' attendance at the meetings of the board during the period under review is available for inspection in accordance with Section 285, subsection 2 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. You would have seen from the report that one director is retiring by rotation at this meeting in accordance with the Articles of Association. Being eligible, the said director has offered himself for re-election. He is Professor Fabian Ajogu. I hereby move that Professor Fabian Ajogu, an independent I beg your pardon, distinguished shareholders. I've skipped Mr. Deepak. I apologize. Yes. Thank you, Company Secretary. So the next director appointed at the last annual general meeting and seeking confirmation is Mr. Deepak Singhal. Mr. Singhal's profile is displayed on the screen. I hereby move the motion for the election of Deepak Singhal as non-executive director. Would someone please rise and second the motion? I want the lady in the pink scarf on the left-hand side. Thank you.
Thanks for the opportunity, ma'am. My name is Mrs. Mogisola Oba. I rise to second that motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barrow. I hereby put the motion to the meeting for voting.
On the motion for the election of Mr. Deepak Singhal as a non-executive director, members may cast their votes. Madam Chairperson, at the end of the voting exercise, we have 100% return in favor of the resolution.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. And we'll continue with the re-election of Professor Fabian Ajogu. Would someone please rise and second the motion? Yes, ma'am, the lady in the black suit. Thank you very much, ma'am. I now put the motion to the meeting for voting.
Distinguished shareholders, you may now cast your votes. Madam Chairperson, once again, we have 100% return in favor of the resolution.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. Distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the newly elected directors and the re-elected director, I would like to thank all of our shareholders for the confidence reposed in us to continue to serve as directors in our great company. And we promise to continue to act in the best interest of the company. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company. Section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 states that the compensation of managers of a company shall be disclosed to members of the company at the annual general meeting. The remuneration paid to the managers of the company for the year under review, including sundry costs and expenses, is as disclosed on Note 11B on page 107 of the annual reports and accounts. The next item on the agenda is for the motion to authorize directors to fix the remuneration of the independent auditors for the F25 financial year. Section 408, subsection 1B of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 provides that the remuneration of the auditors shall be fixed by the company in general meeting or in such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I hereby move that the directors be and they are hereby authorized by this general meeting of the company to fix the remuneration and expenses of the auditors for the financial year 2025. Would the shareholder please rise and second the motion? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Prince Adewale Oyenuga. I second that motion.
Thank you, sir. I hereby put the motion to the meeting for voting.
On the motion to authorize directors to fix the remuneration of the independent directors for the financial year 2025, members may now cast their votes. Madam Chairperson, at the end of the voting exercise, we have 100% of the members voting in favor of the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Konko. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. The next item is the election of members of the Statutory Audit Committee. Distinguished shareholders, can I have your attention, please? We're still in meeting. Thank you. Thank you. The next item is the election of members of the Statutory Audit Committee. The provisions of Section 404, subsection 3, Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 provides that the maximum shall not be 5 members, with 2 being directors and 3 shareholder representatives. Consequently, the Board of Directors has nominated the following 2 directors as members of the Statutory Audit Committee: Ms. Ngozi Edozian and Mrs. Vivian Shubo. At the close of business on the 22nd of October 2024, the following valid nominations were received by the Company Secretary from members for election as members of the Audit Committee. Number 1, Mr. Moses Igrude. Number 2, Mr. George Ibade. Number 3, Mrs. Onome Joy Adewuyi. Since there were not more than 3 valid nominations for election in the Statutory Audit Committee, and all the nominees are returning shareholder representatives, I hereby move the motion for the meeting to return the 3 nominees as duly elected. Will someone please rise and second the motion? The gentleman in the blue, in the blue. In the blue, in the light blue, please. The gentleman in the light blue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Chairman, my name is Lawal Wahab Olatuji. I rise to second that motion.
Thank you very much, sir. Having now received the names of representatives of the shareholders and those of the directors to the Statutory Audit Committee, I hereby declare that the following have been elected members of the Statutory Audit Committee for the year 2023-24. Number 1, Mr. Moses Igrude. Number 2, Mr. George Ibade. Number 3, Mrs. Onomejoy Adewoye. Number 4, Ms. Ngozi Edozie. Number 5, Mrs. Vivian Shubo. The next item on the agenda concerns fixing of the remuneration of the directors for the financial year 2025. Distinguished shareholders, can I have your attention, please? Thank you. The directors have decided to divide any remuneration approved for them by the shareholders amongst those who are not full-time working directors. There are now 2 full-time working directors, Mr. Girish Sharma, Managing Director, Mr. Emmanuel Difong, Finance and Strategy Director, all of whom are remunerated wholly by way of salary. As I am not a full-time working director, I propose that Mr. Sharma should take the chair and conduct the meeting until voting on this motion has been concluded.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Madam Chair. Am I audible?
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Co-Chair. I hereby move that the remuneration of the directors in respect for the year ending 30th June 2025 be and is hereby fixed at not more than 150,509,76 naira. Please note that there is no change from the previous year. Would someone please rise and second this motion? Yes, the man in black, please.
Thank you, Acting Chair, for the honor. Bami Shile is the name. I write to second the motion. Bami Shile. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bamishine. I hereby put this motion to the meeting for voting. I call on the registrar to handle the voting process, please.
Distinguished shareholders, please. I hope we are still in the meeting. Please, it's time to cast your votes. On the motion to fix the remuneration of directors for the financial year 2025, please, you may cast your votes. At the end of the voting exercise, I'm pleased to announce that we have 100% of the members in support of that motion.
Thank you very much. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried, and I hereby hand over further conduct of the meeting back to the board chair. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. The next item on the agenda is a resolution for a general mandate in respect of recurrent transactions of a revenue of trading nature with related parties. You will recall that the Nigerian Stock Exchange had issued rules which requires that a quoted company should seek a general mandate for such transactions from shareholders. This mandate has been in place since the last financial year and now needs to be renewed for the 2024-2025 financial year. We have provided relevant information relating to this resolution in the circular on page 5 of the 2024 annual report and financial statements. I would therefore like to move a motion that in compliance with the rules of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, the general mandate granted to the company to enter into recurrent transactions of a revenue or trading nature or which are necessary for the company's day-to-day operations with related parties be and is hereby renewed. Would someone please rise and second this motion? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairperson. My name is Comrade Babatunde Elekede. I rise to second the motion.
Thank you very much, sir. I hereby put the motion to the meeting for voting.
Distinguished shareholders, on the motion as read out by the chairperson, please, you may proceed to cast your votes for the renewal of the company's general mandate Please cast your votes. Madam Chairperson, all the voters in favor of the resolution, all the voters voted in favor of the resolution.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. The following resolution on the agenda is to be considered a special resolution. The next item on the agenda is for the motion to consider, and if thought fit, pass the following resolution as a special resolution of the company, that the Articles of Association of the company be amended as follows. Number 1, the insertion of a new clause 56 to read as follows. Time and place of meeting. The annual general meeting shall be held in such manner at such time and place as the directors shall appoint, including virtually or by any other electronic means. Number 2, the insertion of a new clause 59.1 to read as follows. Notice of every general meeting shall be given in any legal manner, including and without limitation to any mail, publication, physical or electronic means. Would someone please rise and second this motion? Yes, please, sir, in the green. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Chairman. The name is Sahed O Mwabwezi. I so move or so support.
Thank you very much, sir. I hereby put the motion to the meeting for voting.
Distinguished shareholders, on the motion to amend the company's Articles of Association as read out by the chairperson, you may now cast your votes. Madam Chairperson, at the end of the voting exercise, we have 100% of the members voting in favor of the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Konko. I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. Distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion of the formal... Can I have your attention, please, shareholders? We're almost done. Thank you very much. Thank you. Distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion of the formal part of the meeting, requiring the passage of resolutions on the agenda of the meeting. I would like to thank you all on behalf of the board for attending this meeting and your devotion to the company's affairs. I hereby declare the meeting closed. The national anthem, please.
Congratulations. Try to get in touch with Huawei. They will solve your power problem. Huawei, they are very advanced in power system. Are you with me? They are very advanced. This thing can happen.